Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned Albino plays Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony episode 30. We're in the middle, not quite middle, of the class trial. Let's keep it going.
That cum-soaked urinal cake was totally lying about there being nothing past the wall. She lived a life of pride, vulgarity, and secrets. Lying would be a piece of cake for her.
Kokichi, you no have to go that far.
Stop it! Don't badmouth Mommy!
Monotaro?
Listen to you, talking about Mommy like she was a terrible lying whore. But Mommy wasn't lying. There was no hidden route in that virtual world.
Oh, there wasn't, huh?
Hey! You can't tell them such an important hint!
Oh, if you say that hint is important, then I guess it must be true.
Oh, shoot!
Ah, jeez. You're lucky you're cute.
Was Kokichi saying all that stuff about Miyu to get the Cubs to reveal something? I guess I should thank him, but I have no idea why he does things sometimes.
So now that we know there's no hidden route, why did she manipulate the program? If there's actually nothing past the wall, then that setting was meaningless.
Miyu wouldn't have done something meaningless. She would have had a plan.
Yes. Miyu definitely wanted to be able to go through that wall for a reason. We aren't sure why yet, but once we solve the mystery of the virtual world...
Mystery of virtual world?
There have been a lot of strange occurrences in the virtual world. If we can determine why, we will also determine what Miyu was up to. We'll know why she wanted to pass through the wall.
All right, let's clear up those strange occurrences.
Okay, I'm officially lost.
Yeah, Gonta will help, even though Gonta not know what you're talking about.
Me and you, Gonza.
Speaking of strange occurrences, I'm just plain worried about that one thing. Remember? That thing that made us notice all the strange occurrences?
The events that led us there. Not the event, it was the, was it the loud noise?
This is it!
Hey! Got it right first try.
You mean the loud sound that you and I heard in the kitchen?
Well, that was that sound. It sounded as if something was struck very hard. It came from outside, but...
You all heard that sound too?
Yes, in the mansion's kitchen.
But that sound occurred near the chapel. How did you hear it all the way at the mansion?
First off, sound can't go past the map loading point. Did that sound really come from the chapel?
That sound was something hitting the chapel wall. It was real loud.
And we definitely heard it. We heard Kibo's voice as well.
For now, let's go outside and check. Oh no! What? That was Kibo's voice, right? I think I heard them outside. He sounded close.
You heard my voice too?
What? That is pretty strange.
Exactly. That has to be some kind of clue to the mystery of the virtual world.
Okay, well, let's check the answers later and try to find all the other clues first. There was another mysterious phenomenon in the virtual world, wasn't there?
Kokichi talk like he noticed something, pretending not to know.
Even Gonta is suspicious of me? I always thought you would be the one to trust me!
Sorry, Gonta not mean it like that.
There's no need to apologize to him. He's probably just lying again.
What was the other strange occurrence? Did you see it, Shuichi?
Another mysterious phenomenon. Something that shouldn't be possible, like Miyu in the mansion or that loud noise. I need to remember everything else that happened in there. Okay, so we're looking for the signboard, I assume. Which is right here. I don't know how you're gonna say that. Okay, I guess. Yeah. Oh, so this extends. It's not just the signboard. Like, yeah. Okay. Right. Dude, come on. Okay.
I see it. The sign that we were using as a bridge was odd to me.
Odd how?
We mentioned it before, but Mew dropped the sign in the river.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
We found it later, but there was something unnatural about it.
Finding the sign was definitely weird. I'm most confused by how the sign got there. I should remember exactly what happened with that sign. Alright, here we go. Oh, Psych Taxi again, huh? I don't mind it, you know. Alright, so Kokichi mentioned what happens if people are split on the Glacken in terms of first votes. Does that mean we're gonna have a rebuttal showdown where one or half the group thinks it's one person and the other half thinks it's somebody else? At which point was the signboard swept away? What do you mean, at which point? It was swept away at the river. Made it sound like we were talking about a time or an event. Oh, don't make a move now! Doesn't matter, I'm hella good. I played Mon Nation Racers, I was ranked 6th in the world, boys. For a time. I ain't even lying about that. It's the second best racing game next to Crash Team Racing. Where is the end of the river? Transition point. No, it's Chapel side. Oh, I barely got that in time. Okay. Chapel side. And then the next question is, well, where did the sign actually end up? On the mansion side. Like, that will... Okay, it seems like I'm trying to dodge these cubes. I promise I'm not. Where is the signboard found after it swept away? Yeah, the mansion side. Faux shizzle. I hope you guys come to the conclusion of how that happens without me having to input anything, because that's still something I'm not, that I don't know how. Since they're saying that, like, the walls do in fact lead nowhere. Do you think that, like, I hate the trials that revolve around, like, the layout of the scene being different than what you think it is, because I can never get it. Like in Danganronpa 2, when we're at, like, that grape house and apple house or whatever, strawberry house, like, that just threw me through the giantest loop of all time. Do you think maybe the map is, like, folded over underneath? So where... I don't know. There's like... Virtually something float against the current. Like if you take one of the walls and then you could unfold the map from
It
underneath,
appeared as though the
you know what I
sign
mean?
was carried against the river's current.
Maybe. And then underneath there's some kind of thing.
We all saw Mew drop the sign and watched the river carry it downstream. And the river was wide there. The sign should have traveled downriver toward the chapel, correct? It should have hit the wall on the far side of the chapel and stopped there. But that's not where we found it. We found it near the mansion, nestled in some rocks.
The signboard should have been near the chapel, but we found it on the other side.
Hold up. Didn't you stay on the chapel side? She probably grabbed the signboard from the chapel wall to cross the river. Then left it on the boulders near the mansion so she could get back.
Why would she leave the signboard where it could get swept away and leave her stranded?
Also, this has nothing to do with walking through the wall, right? We're getting off topic. We're so close to the truth. We just have to connect the how and what. All the mysterious things that happened have to connect with each other somehow.
Connect how?
A wall only objects can pass through. Sounds that shouldn't be heard. A signboard going against the river current. How are they all connected?
I don't know, but Shuichi should know, right?
What?
We would be in a lot of trouble if you didn't. The only one who can solve this mystery and save us all is you.
So, how are they connected? Do you know, Shuichi?
I don't know.
Ah, well, what we know so far is that the unnatural way the sign was carried is possibly related to the wall. This is it! It might have to do with a wall that only objects can pass through. The sign should have stopped at the wall on the other side of the chapel. But if that wall happened to be the one that Mew set to allow objects through...
I see. It's a wall only non-humans can pass through. That means the signboard can pass through the wall, right?
Even if it could pass through the chapel wall, how did it end up by the mansion?
The only way it could do that is if the wall was a warp zone. But it's not, right?
That's right, that's the real issue here. How could the signboard pass through the wall but end up on the mansion side? What would explain that?
Leave it to me, Shuichi. I, your partner, will give you hints in times of trouble.
What?
This is the virtual world. We should throw away all of our common sense, okay?
Huh? The hell does that even mean?
Kokichi might be onto something there. We need to forget about what we know and just think about it. How did the signboard pass through the wall downstream and end up upstream? Putting common sense aside and focusing on the flow of the river, how did the signboard downstream and upstream connect?
That's it! What if both ends of the river were connected?
Huh? Both ends of river connected?
Exactly. To put it another way, the river isn't cut off at the wall near the chapel. It's all part of one big loop. The upstream part of the river is connected to it.
What? What are you talking about? Both ends of the river can't...
Again, throw out all common sense from your head. We're talking about the virtual world.
Then what about the wall? There was only one wall that could be passed through.
Yeah, this is the question that I have.
Right. Even if the river's connected and it goes through the chapel wall, it wouldn't have been able to go through the mansion wall too.
Wait, in that case...
I got it! I know why Mew only set up one wall.
What are you talking about now?
The reason she only set up one wall is because the chapel and the mansion walls... they're the same wall?
That's it! The walls by the chapel and the mansion aren't separate. They're the same wall.
The same wall?
It's not just the river. The walls themselves are connected. Don't think of it as two separate walls, but a single wall parallel to the y-axis. That single wall divides the entire virtual world.
Yeah, so the map is drawn wrong.
The idea is, you pass through the wall by the chapel and come out by the mansion.
Everything is starting to connect. See, didn't I tell you? Everything is connected.
Damn it, Kokichi! Just tell us.
Shh, it's okay. More importantly, this is the final stretch! If both the river and wall are connected, then you can find the secret. Shuichi, you already know the secret behind the virtual world, right?
The secret, huh? Yes, I suppose we should clear that up. We need to solve the mystery of the virtual world. Oh no. What is a unique feature? Nope, not that. Oh. Whoa. Word? Oh? World. No. No. Nope. I don't know. Hangman's Gambit is always way too, like, weirdly specific for me to understand. Let's try that again.
We can't let it in.
I swear to God, if you... Yeah, okay, good. Go right back here. So, it's world. And none of these were W. So that's cool. Excuse me. I'd like you to show me a W, please. Duh. D. There you go. And it's not R. It's not O. Wait, was it R? No, it's not R. World. L-E-N. No. World La. Loop. World Loop. Loops? Is it an S? Lupo? What? There's the S. I thought they were trying to like make it something else.
Yes, that's it. The virtual world is a loop.
Yeah, you already said that. It's just
Just like in old games,
trying to figure out the
right?
exact
Like, for
English of
example,
what you're trying to say is always very difficult.
when a character goes off the left side of the screen and reappears on the right.
Yes, exactly. The edges of the virtual world are linked together in a continuous loop.
I said that was like one of the first things I said during the investigation.
Virtual world loops?
What in the world?
If that's true, it would explain the way the signboard was swept away. It vanished into the wall downstream of the river, came out of that same wall upstream, and floated with the currents until it got caught on the rocks.
What was the world like before Mew added the wall?
Actually, there wasn't a wall on the y-axis at all, and the x-axis was set to loop.
Are you serious? Even if it is a computer program, isn't that too crazy?
A looping world. That's more extraordinary than even magic.
But at least it's not a boring answer. It also explains all the things that happened.
Huh? It doesn't explain everything, does it? Because we still don't know why we heard that one sound or Kibo's voice.
Yeah, sound doesn't go past the map loading point.
Actually, if we know that the world is a loop, we can explain that as well.
Huh? Really?
Yes, but first we need to be clear where the loop starts.
Where the loop starts.
I would assume it would be at the loading point.
Doesn't it loop at the walls next to the mansion and chapel?
Not necessarily. If we heard a noise at the chapel from inside the mansion, then the loop... There! The map loading point was where the virtual world looped. We thought the loading point was in the middle of the map. But the loading point was actually at the edges.
So
I
the
don't know
wall
why I
you
did that.
created wasn't at the edges of the world, but rather...
I just liked seeing that.
Her wall was at the center of the world.
I see. So the mansion and chapel were near each other, with a wall between them. And any sound emitted near the chapel would also reach the mansion. The wall only allows non-humans to pass through, so sound should be able to pass through easily.
That's right. That's how the virtual world works.
Impressive, Shuichi! For you to get this far! Yes! Yes! You are useful indeed!
For you to get this far, what are you, some villain pulling the strings?
Nope. Mew pulled the strings here, not me. Remember? Mew also set this trap. It all began when Mew showed us the map. Because of the map, we mistakenly thought the loading point was at the center, which in turn made the mansion and chapel seem farther away from each other.
But the structure of the world wasn't actually like that. There was a wall along the y-axis, and the x-axis came around in a loop.
By putting that wall in the center of that world, she cut off the loop.
So ever since Mew showed us that map, we were caught in her trap. But we solved this mystery thanks to Shuichi. All hail our savior!
Yeah, if Shuichi wasn't here, then we never would have solved this mystery.
That's right. Good work, Shuichi.
Thanks, Shuichi. You saved us.
You're welcome.
Just because we found out the virtual world's secret doesn't mean we can take it easy yet. Actually, this culprit hunt just got to the exciting part. Even if we know all the tricks, it's pretty meaningless if we don't find the culprit. That's how a class trial works, after all!
Kokichi talking like Monokuma again.
No matter what you say, I'm not gonna believe your lies. I'm gonna believe in everyone. That's how I'm gonna reach the truth.
I can't wait to see what happens next!
What is Kokichi's plan here? He's definitely prodding at Kaito on purpose. Well, there's no time for distractions like him. What we have to do is find the culprit who killed Miyu. It doesn't matter how many little mysteries we solve. If we can't find the culprit, it would all be for nothing. But I still don't know for sure who it could be. Who used Miyu's own plan against her to kill her? Who killed Miyu? Intermission. I'm gonna save yes. Man, I'm bushed. I got no motivation at all. And Monophanie's period is late too. Father, why do you know Monophanie's cycle?
And another
Never mind that. Perhaps this lack of motivation is due to a lack of hibernation.
Yeah?
Lack of hibernation?
Yeah.
haven't been sleeping well lately, so I haven't really been able to hibernate. That's awful. What could be causing you?
Ah!
Is it 'cause you have a lot on your mind?
Huh?
Is it 'cause the graveyard shift pays a better hourly wage?
Huh? Really?
Is it 'cause you don't want them to think you're just goofing around?
Huh?
Is it 'cause you want to stay friends?
Huh?
Is it 'cause you want to watch it in real time? Father? He's gone into hibernation. We should let him be.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. Night-night.
My head!
I gotta think it's Kibo. Only because, like, in terms of the objects, like the hammer and the lattice and stuff, I don't think Miyu had some of that on her. I think she possibly had the hammer. Sure, she probably had the hammer, she definitely had the cell phone. I think the lattice is something else, because it puts the surfing theory out of whack, so there's no reason for the lattice to even be anywhere. So, the only person I think that could move stuff from the rooftop to the church, other than Miyu, is Kibo, because he's an object. If it turns out that he is in fact an object. Although it did say that Miyu's was the only one set to objects, so maybe not.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone important to me, but I just can't. My head! My head hurts so much, I just can't remember.
Have you forgotten? Maybe that's for the best. From this point forward, let's start a new life for ourselves. After all, our baby is excited to meet his daddy, you know?
Daddy? Wait, what? I'm gonna be a father?
What a colossal death flag. I'll be surprised if he doesn't die after that.
More importantly, let's continue the conversation where we left off.
We understand Mew plotted the murder, but we need to find out who killed her.
And in order to figure that out, we need to understand Mew's actions. So let's discuss her murder scheme step by step.
I know that's important, but hearing you lead the conversation really pisses me off.
Let's see. Mew manipulated the virtual world to use it as part of her murder plan.
Don't just ignore me and start anyway.
If she had succeeded, she would have gone past the wall between the chapel and mansion. And then wham! Murdered me on the roof with the hammer.
She would make the murder seem like it happened in the real world, and then pin it on Kaito.
As for Mew's alibi in the real world, she could say she was locked into the virtual world. And in the virtual world, she could say she was near the chapel the entire time.
She'd make an excuse about how she couldn't reach the mansion because of the fallen bridge.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
She dropped the bridge on purpose so she could separate the chapel from the mansion. Then secretly passed through the wall she installed and took advantage of the loop. After, she headed to where we were supposed to meet up, the mansion's rooftop. Oh yeah, Kaito was probably logged out around that time too.
That's when I saw Mew.
Problem is, because of her murder plans, we don't even know where she was killed.
She was killed on the roof, right? Kokichi told us the roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through.
Maybe that when culprit killed her.
That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
Did the culprit lock the door to the roof?
Perhaps. I don't think Mew did it. If Mew did lock it, she would have done it when she called Kokichi to the roof. Even if someone came up, I don't believe she would change the target of her plan. She knew that Kokichi would come up later. Locking the door would be suspicious.
Well, it's possible she didn't even think that far ahead.
She was smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
No say such mean things. Killing game bad, not Mew. Mew not bad person. Going to think we could have been friends, if things different.
That might have been difficult, even without this killing game.
That wouldn't happen.
Nuh-uh. No way, Jose.
Huh?
Anyway, let's continue the discussion. If Mew was killed on the roof of the mansion, the culprit must have moved Mew's avatar to the chapel after killing her, right?
So the next thing we should talk about is how they moved her avatar.
Now we know the mansion and chapel were actually next to each other.
Is it on a hill? I didn't really get a glimpse of like the elevation. If they killed her on the roof of the mansion and then slid her on the lattice down past the wall over to the other place. And then that's why that happened. And then that was the loud sound. It was her, like, her sledding full speed into the chapel. But then it's like, who knew about these settings that would know to take advantage of that?
But the problem is the wall between them.
Only Mew was able to go through that wall. The culprit wouldn't have been able to.
It's kind of sounding like Kokichi did it all, even though you wouldn't think that he would. Because they already, like...
Then you're saying the culprit sent Mew's avatar through that wall?
Yeah, that's the only way, right?
But how did the culprit send Mew's avatar through the wall? I mean, it's not like
See,
they
I
could
was
have
kind
gone.
of right about surfing, only instead of the river, they surfed snow.
Going to not throw her!
We know. You couldn't because the avatar's physical strength was equalized.
Physical strength equalized? That problem. Going to know can protect everyone if that happens.
Jeez, keep up with us. We're already in the second half of the class trial.
How did they send Mew's avatar to the other side of the wall? Maybe that thing has something to do with it. You know, the loud sound you heard?
Yes, I'm 100% right about this, and it feels good. Bang. What was that sound?
Because of that sound, you guys went to the side of the chapel. Right, Keyboy? That's when you found the dead Mew there, right? If so, then I think that sound and her avatar being by the chapel are related.
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind that the noise is related to this case. We need to figure out what that sound could have been. It might be the clue we need to solve this case. So what was it? It sounded like something slamming hard into something else. So what were those two things? Two objects colliding, the lattice hitting the wall, Mew hitting the wall. I know it's the lattice, but... yeah, I guess it's probably specifically that.
I was wrong!
See, that's why I was like... It's an unbreakable object, so it means it's hard, right? It means it's like... I know it's Mew hitting the wall,
That's it!
but... I didn't know if
I
they
think the
needed
sound
me to
came
be
from Mew's
specific because
avatar
the
hitting the
lattice was
chapel
definitely
wall.
part of it.
The hammer, cell phone, and lattice were there, but they were too small to make that noise. Ruling those out,
Yeah,
the
obviously
only
I
other
mean the lattice
explanation
by
is that the
itself was
sound
just
was
like
Mew
thrown at the
colliding with a
wall.
wall.
If that's the case, Mew's avatar must have hit the chapel wall really hard. We felt the impact all the way from the inside of the chapel.
Yeah, that's the real question. Mew's avatar probably hit the chapel's wall with pretty considerable force. But why did it hit the wall with such force? Can you guys figure it out?
Hold on, Kokichi. What's up with the way you're talking? Why are you talking like you know everything?
Let's not worry about that right now. More importantly, we gotta solve the mystery. Fighting among friends is a waste of time.
Friends? Us?
Anyway, can we talk about that after we figure this problem out?
A way of transporting Miu's avatar that would cause it to crash into the chapel.
Getting Miu's avatar to crash into the chapel from the mansion's roof. There's only one way I can think of how to do that.
Hey, Shuichi, as your partner, I'll give you a little hint.
Your what?
I
Since
don't
the
need a
mansion
hint.
was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right? Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope, and the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. If the culprit needed force to move the body, I wonder how
Don't
they
spell
did
it
it.
out for me when I already know. Making me feel dumb. Kokichi is talking as if he's got the whole thing figured out already. But I can't let him distract me. I need to solve the case. How to make Miu hit the chapel wall from the roof of the mansion. I'm going to find the answer. I'm ahead of Shuichi. Fucking... wait, slid the roof? Down the roof? Definitely sled, I think. Yeah. Slid. Okay, it is slid. And there's D. I'm gonna assume... Whoa. Hidden Monokuma? Where are the rest of the letters? I know, but like when I click on letters, I know they're wrong, but I don't see the right ones. Oh, slid off the roof. Oh, slid off roof. Okay, so you're not even gonna like give me a complete sentence here. I see. Fine. Give me another F. Give me an F right now, boy. Oh, no, there was one right there. And then R is there. O. Another O. Is this an F? Yes, it was.
The culprit used the sloped roof as a slide for Miu's avatar.
Slide?
Nah, man. Even with the slope and the snow, Miu's body wouldn't have slid.
Wrong. It would slide.
But the avatars can generate friction. We wouldn't have been able to walk otherwise. So I doubt that it would have had that much momentum.
No. It would slide.
It wouldn't slide, just like Maki Roll said.
It would slide, just like Shumai said.
Who the hell is Shumai?
Oh, he's a pupil of Ramen Man. Sorry, my hobby slipped in.
I'm positive that's how Miu's avatar was moved, but maybe the culprit used something else as well. You're really drawing out this very simple solution, aren't you?
Even if her avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Yes.
Well, duh, it would.
Yes.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Yes.
Lots of snow piled up on roof,
Yes.
but not frozen solid, right?
Yes.
You'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
Does nothing to
That's
do
not
with
the
it.
issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
There was nothing like that around, though.
Idiot.
That's wrong!
Idiot Kaito.
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Miu's body. Do you remember the lattice that was found by Miu's avatar? The culprit laid her on top of that, then used it as a sled on the roof. I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof? Then that's it. The culprit used the lattice as a sled.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding!
act like you
That's
figured that out by
correct.
yourself. You're the first one, Kaito. You're ahead of all of us.
After the culprit killed Mew on the rooftop, they placed her corpse on a sled and slid her down the roof's steep slope.
The sled
Bam.
picked up speed, flew off the roof, glided through the wall only objects could pass through, and hit the chapel.
Leave no marks, though. Unbreakable objects. And just not leaving marks
The
anywhere.
impact made all of her belongings scatter, including the hammer and cell phone.
Just like that hedgehog who loses all his rings whenever he crashes into stuff. I hate that guy and his worldwide fame and his stupid games, and I hate that hedgehog!
Daddy, I'm glad you're feeling motivated again, but you shouldn't be so hateful. You gotta be an example to our new family.
Yeah, Father. Or should I start calling you grandfather now?
Now that we know how the body slid down, we're just one step away from the culprit. Well, Shuichi, do you know who the culprit is?
The culprit.
Yeah. In the end, we'll still need to guess the culprit, huh?
But Gonta can't believe one of us killed Mew.
However, since we know she was killed on the roof, we can narrow down the list of suspects. Meaning, the culprit must be someone who was investigating the mansion.
Indeed.
Aside from you, the people at the chapel could not go through the wall or cross the river.
So that means the suspects are Kaito, Samugi, Shuichi, and Gonta.
That's real sneaky, leaving yourself off the list.
Ooh, you got me.
That's right, 5 suspects. Me, Tsumugi, Gonta, Kokichi, and Kaito. We don't know enough to name the culprit yet, but one of them is suspicious. When we were talking about the rooftop, they clearly lied. But what reason would they have to lie? I'll need to press them for information before making any judgments.
It's you! Kokichi, there's something I need to know.
What do you need to know?
Why did you lie just now?
Which lie are you talking about, Shuichi? I lie a lot, so you'll need to jog my memory.
Fine. I'll expose your lie right now.
Also, I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting. That's right, because you said that you tried that the door was locked. It all began when Miyu showed us the map. That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
It was that testimony that bothered me.
Mine again. Are we looking for like a specific lie? Oh, I guess we are. But yeah, I think never went to the roof is definitely the wrong one. Because how would he know it was locked? Actually, he already specifically said that it was locked. Clear.
I see it! When you were explaining that the door to the roof was locked, you said,
Also, I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting.
but later you said,
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right? Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope. And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof.
That's a lot of specific information. Stuff you wouldn't know if you hadn't been there.
Oh yeah! Now that you mention it, how did you know all that stuff?
You could probably see the steep slope of the roof from outside the mansion. But you wouldn't know about the brick handrail unless you went up to the roof yourself.
Huh? What?
What's this all about, Kokichi? Did you actually go to the rooftop?
I didn't. I already told you that before.
Why you look so nervous?
Is this a sincere reaction?
But there's no evidence that proves I went to the roof. Oh, wait. I remember now. That thing Himiko said.
Me?
At the start of the class trial, I remember you saying the handrail was made of bricks. Ooh, you so clumsy, girl. Gotta be more careful there, Himiko.
Is it my fault?
Himiko really say that?
She totally said that.
No, she didn't!
Yes, she did.
She did not!
She did too.
Then when? Tell me how long ago. In hours, minutes, and seconds.
What a worthless fight!
Stop them, Grandpa! All this terrible fighting is bad for the baby!
Yeah, grandfather. Stop them before your grandkid is born.
I'm not gonna apologize, because Himiko said it.
So damn stubborn.
How much longer are you going to behave like this?
We don't have time for this. But Kokichi is stubborn. He won't fess up no matter what. But if he's being this stubborn, it makes me think he has something to hide. To get him to show his hand, I have to prove he was on the roof. I might not like it, but I have to be aggressive. If we don't get the whole truth now, everyone's lives are in danger. Toilet paper? No.
I didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man!
I'm not lying.
Let's see.
The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
Okay.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
Liars burn in hell,
I mean, that's
you know?
probably wrong, but like, I mean, it's guaranteed.
If you're lying, I'll set
What
your
do we
pants
get
on
rid of?
fire!
Or what do we refute that with?
That's fine because I'm not lying.
Then why
Or,
do you look so
he said
nervous?
get aggressive. Does that mean we have to lie? Kokichi is lying for sure, but if he keeps throwing lies at me, I have to fight. Yeah, we definitely have to lie about something.
I didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man!
I'm not lying.
Alright, so we probably turn Kokichi
The
in the
rooftop
salon
door was
into a
locked and
lie.
I couldn't open it.
And then refute
So
him
what did
being in the
Kokichi do?
salon. With him not being in the salon.
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon.
Because for sure he wasn't in the salon.
I always
So
know
he
the
doesn't know
truth.
that we would have proof that he's not in the salon.
Kokichi, you're lying right now, aren't you?
Huh? Lying about what?
Just before the murder occurred, I went to the salon to check on you, but you weren't there.
What? Really?
Yes, exactly. And he can't disprove that.
I waited there for a while. You never showed up.
What's this all about, Kokichi? Didn't you go right back to the salon after finding the roof door locked?
I see. You use underhanded tactics too, huh, Shuichi? So who are you guys gonna believe? Shuichi or me?
Well, of course I'm gonna believe Shuichi.
I believe Shuichi 100%.
The one who's not Kokichi.
100 house points. No. Himiko points to Shuichi.
But to go to the salon, Shuichi would need to pass by me in the dining room.
Oh, shit.
I wonder why I didn't notice Shuichi there. Oh well. I'll believe Shuichi anyway.
Hell
He's
yeah.
usually right about stuff.
Sorry, but Gonta believes Shuichi too.
I see. I wanted at least Gonta to believe me.
What comes around goes around. That's what happens to liars like you.
Why do you guys hate lies that much? There's only one truth, but endless possibilities for lies, you know? And some of them are only white lies, or lies to be kind to people. If you deny all of that just because it's a lie, then that means you guys are just terrible at being lied to. Seriously, the worst!
Just spit it out already. You went to the roof, didn't you?
Isn't that where he met up with Mew?
No, he didn't just meet her there. He probably killed.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you if you want to know that badly. Consider this my revenge.
Revenge?
You got some balls lying to me. I'm gonna take away your fun for pissing me off, Shuichi. I won't let you do any detective work, or deduction, or mystery solving, or anything.
Oh?
So, I'll confess everything. You guys better listen carefully.
Confess.
A confession? So you are the culprit after all.
I came up with a plan after Mew asked me to meet up with her. She asked me pretty eagerly, too. So I decided to pry some info out of her. She gave me the rundown of the virtual world before she explained it to you guys. As I listened, I realized she was planning a murder. On me, no less. When I investigated the virtual world, I found out that a person can die from shock. Without a doubt, she planned to use that for my murder. So that's when I decided to prepare my own crime with her plan. I pretended to cooperate with her and lured everyone into the virtual world. That's also why I worked together with Monokuma.
You worked together with Monokuma?
I guess the jig is up. Yeah, everything he said is true. Kokichi came to me with an idea to make the killing game more interesting. It was such a good idea, I decided to place a motive in the killing game simulator.
You added a motive? Then the secret of the outside world is the motive, right?
No fair! Monokuma can't take sides!
I didn't help him with anything, and I had nothing to do with the murder itself. He merely suggested a way to spice up the killing game, and I accepted. Kokichi and I had a quid pro quo relationship. Technically, that doesn't violate the rules.
Bullshit! No matter how you look at it, you guys are working together.
Shh, calm down. I'll explain my relationship with Monokuma, so let me finish my confession.
I'm fine with that, but you're confessing without much of a fight.
I told you. I'm gonna get in the way by taking away the mystery-solving fun. If I can't win this game, then I'll make it boring for everyone. That's my revenge. Well then, the culprit is Gonta.
What?
Huh?
What did you...
Wait! When did Gonta kill Mew?
That's a lie! He didn't kill her! Kokichi's just lying!
Now you're trying to pin things on Gonta? Do you really expect us to believe such an obvious lie?
Yeah, there's no way Gonta could commit a murder this complicated. He's not smart.
It's my turn now! The truth is, Gonta and I worked together. We formed a duo to end this killing game. As the Killing Game Busters!
What Busters?
We must win this killing game in order to end this killing game.
What you mean, we?
By the way, I came up with the murder plan, and Gonta carried it out.
Gonta what?
Why are you more surprised by that than the first thing he said?
'Cause Gonta have no idea what he's talking about.
Come on, quit lying and tell us the truth.
Gonta is telling the truth! He's not someone who lies all the time like you!
And no matter how naive Gonta may be, I doubt he would ever team up with Kokichi.
Yeah, not after insect meet and greet incident.
It's obvious what he's trying to do. Gonta doesn't understand the virtual world, so Kokichi's trying to trick him. He's trying to sacrifice Gonta to escape from his crime.
You're a terrible person! How dare you use Gonta like that?
You're right. I'm sorry. I did something horrible to Gonta. I didn't want Shuichi to hog all the glory, so I told everyone the truth.
Cut that out. I told you it's not gonna work.
Don't you think I could have pulled the strings and made Gonta carry out my commands?
It doesn't matter if it's possible or not, because I say it's just impossible.
It does matter. There's no need to bring emotions into class trials. All we need is logical thinking. Right, Shuichi?
What? Gonta not understand what's going on. But still, Gonta not kill Mew. Gonta really not know anything. And also, Gonta not tell lies. And Gonta not make trouble for others. 'Cause that not how gentlemen act. That why Gonta not culprit.
Yeah, Gonta's not lying. I can tell just by looking at him.
I already used my magic to check. Gonta's definitely not lying.
Then let me ask you guys. If it's not Gonta, then who's the culprit?
You, of course!
Come on! There's already proof that I couldn't have killed Mew.
There's already proof?
Oh, did you forget already? Then let me make it clear again. Why I can't be the culprit! I am not the culprit.
Avatar error. It's gotta
Didn't I
be.
prove that to you guys already? The clue is how Mew is killed.
Mew got strangled to death, right?
Toilet paper was the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Mew would have totally resisted if she was being strangled, right? Then it would have been impossible for someone as weak as me.
You talking about the strength of your virtual avatar? That wouldn't matter if you strangled her from behind.
In which case, even if she did resist, the most she could have done is merely touch the culprit.
Exactly. She couldn't struggle much. So you could have kept strangling her, no problem. That's wrong!
Actually, maybe it wasn't possible for Kokichi to strangle Mew.
Why wasn't it possible?
Mew modified my avatar, so if she attacked me, I wouldn't be able to resist. If Mew touched me, then I'd be unable to move.
Huh?
So I would have had to kill her instantly, such as stabbing or hitting. I couldn't have murdered her by strangulation, because it'd be game over if she touched me.
What?
Well, if you were using the toilet paper, you wouldn't need to touch her directly.
But if you can't be touched while you're wrapping the toilet paper around her neck, then it would be impossible.
Which means, as long as she died from strangulation, it couldn't have been me.
Wait! What if it was something besides strangulation then? Like,
There's no doubt Mew was strangled. We already discussed this.
Kaido is really desperate to make me the culprit. No matter how much you whine about it, you can't change the truth. The culprit who killed Mew is Gonta Gokuhara! This is the truth you all adore so much.
No! Gonta not kill Mew! It's true! You gotta believe Gonta! Gonta would never hurt anyone!
I believe you. You've been risking yourself to protect everyone. There's no way Gonto would kill. He won't even kill bugs.
I believe Gonta too. I'm not gonna listen to Kokichi's lies.
Do you think Kokichi swapped bodies with Gonta?
of course!
By doing
Who'd believe
the
a liar
thing
like
look
him?
better? Or the chords wrong?
He's lying about Gonta being the culprit,
Kokichi
so there's no
did
point
strangle
talking
Mew,
about it.
but he did it in Gonta's body. Maybe that's why Gonta doesn't really understand the virtual world at all, and like kept thinking it was a dream because he didn't actually have any control. I don't know about that. If we want the truth, we might have to ask uncomfortable questions.
Right, Shuichi? You think so too, don't you?
Huh? I know how important it is to believe, but as the ultimate detective, I know we can't solve this case with belief alone.
Huh?
It's just that something doesn't add up. I have this feeling something's off. We can't keep going back and forth like this. We need to discuss this.
What, you wanna suspect Gonta?
Too bad, Kaito. Looks like Shuichi agrees with me.
No, I'm not trying to...
Oh, the irony! It's all thanks to Kaito that Shuichi got his act together as a detective. And now, Shuichi's intuition as a detective has made him more suspicious of others. Well, can't be helped. That's just what a detective does.
That's not it, Kokichi. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone
Shuichi, Gonta really not do it. Gonta not culprit. Please, believe Gonta.
We might as well discuss it.
What?
As a precautionary measure, that's all. I think we need to seriously discuss whether Gonta was capable of committing this crime. Only then can we arrive at a logical decision.
You guys, why don't you get it? That's just what Kokichi wants. He's just trying to split us up. Shuichi, open your eyes!
But...
2 for 1 truth special! Sorry to ruin this tense moment, but you guys seem pretty evenly split right now.
And that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe and whatnot. And I think I already pretty much have this trial figured out, but we'll see.